United States historical timeline. Really, we'll start off with the colonial era, and it is true that Columbus did find the New World quotation marks in 1492, but really the Europeans didn't settle until about the early 1700s. In between that, revolution broke out between the British because we did not see eye to eye on everything, and because of this, the colonies actually declared for independence in 1776. After the first couple of years of declaring independence, the U.S. was kind of shaky because we relied everything on the Articles of Confederation. The Articles of Confederation wasn't the best document, but it also wasn't the worst. But it also made Congress have way too much power. Congress should literally make wars and peace, conduct foreign affairs, and borrow and print money. That's like a lot of power in like today's terms. This later ended up leading to the creation of the Constitution in September 17th, 1787. Along this path came the structure of the United States. In 1803, that's when the doubling of the Louisiana Purchase, and in 1845, Texas got annexed, and the Pacific Northwest was absorbed in about 1846, and Mexico actually surrounded us in 1848. But between the times of 1790 and 1860, the population of the United States increased from 4 million to 31 million. It increased a lot. Along the timeline is the Civil War. The Civil War really started because of the economic and social diversification between the South and the North. The war started around 1861 of April and later ended in May 1865. It was a long 4-year war. It ended up costing 500,000 people to die. But because of this war, it helped end slavery. Along this path came the reconstruction and the growth of the United States. This is when we really started becoming bigger and bigger. This is the growth of railroads, entrepreneurs, technologically changing, monopolies and cities, and even the expansion into the north. The influence of political party actually began to decline, and there was a brief war with Spain in like 1898. We actually entered World War I in 1917, and because of this war, actually, the League of Nations was formed. But also because of this war, caused the Great Depression because of the Wall Street crashing in 1929. A little history about the World War II was the United States actually didn't plan on joining until Japan attacked us, or well, not us, but Pearl Harbor on December 1941. Because of the United States joining this, and because of all of this, this is where the introduction of nuclear weapons were introduced, and actually ended the war in 4 years. So the journey to 9/11 is just like the big historical thing we kind of talk about and kind of links it to. So basically, after World War II, the Soviet Union and the United States were considered like the powerhouse of the world. They had a whole bunch of power and a whole bunch of deadly weapons. And about the 1950s, where the United States, well, the people of the United States, my bad, began to have doubts and started like not trusting the government a little more. And Bush was actually elected in 2000 into the office, even though he lost the popularity vote, but he won the electoral college vote, which was kind of, shaky at the time. And actually, 9/11 ended up being the turning point of the direction of the U.S. foreign policy. I typed foreign twice by accident. Marcus actually goes way more into detail about 9/11 and about how that's viewed through the public, and a lot of people actually blame George W. Bush for that, which is kind of shocking to me personally. But that doesn't matter. Anyways, because of the attacks on 9/11, Bush launched a controversial war in Iraq in 2003, and if Bush was actually later like known as the most unpopular president since Harry S. Truman. Like only 18% liked him, even though it's kind of surprising because he served 2 terms. But if you want to know more information about 9/11, I would go to Marcus. He has a lot of information on it. This is why Bush was considered like one of the worst presidents, was because how he handled the Hurricane Katrina situation was just terrible. He invaded Iraq on false prefixes and mismanaged U.S. occupations, creating long-term challenges for national and global security, which we're still struggling with today. And a lot of people blame the Great Recession we had in 2008 on him. Actually, for the United States today, problems begin formatting with presidential candidates like votes like accelerating global financial crisis, the weakness of the U.S. dollar, the rising national debt, illegal immigration, international terrorism, declining educational standards, and environmental degradation, and ongoing social economic divisions. In 2009, though, this person, Barack Obama, made history. He became the first African American leader of the Western democracy. After his election, he immediately made changes. He started with the financial crisis. He started to bring the end to the war of Iraq. He started to rebuild the faith in America's national government. And the most controversial one that he's had since he was in office was changing the healthcare system to the Obamacare that we know today. Continue talking about and bringing up 2016, the Democratic Party was split between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. During 2016, though, we also had, on the Republican side, Donald Trump. He actually ended up losing the popularity vote by 2%, but won the Electoral College vote by like a large margin. It was like 80 something. I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head. I'm sorry for that. But ever since Trump has been in office, he has embroiled in a crisis over alleged corruption and Russian interference in the U.S. election. He has become notorious for expressing his feelings in often provocative and contradictory terms on Twitter, and pursued policies that help drive his disapproval rates to record lows. In all honesty, some people hate him and some people love him. It's just how you view him. Alright, you have a great day.